Hey YouTube, cheers. Me again, part two of my recent vinyl finds. I was just in part one, just still going over some of the stuff from this $3 pile that I got from CNS. I probably got, this past month, wouldn't surprise me if I've gotten 150 to 200 records from there. I've just been kind of treating myself, I think, praying that I'm just still being financially responsible. But I feel like God said it was okay. I man of faith. I'm sorry if you don't believe. Please don't be offended. But I've worked a long time. I was working 2 jobs, 7 days a week, and so when I got laid off from my job, they gave me a month's severance pay. Plus, they have to pay you for your unused vacation time. I had just under a month of unused vacation time. Plus, I worked a half a pay period, so I had, I think I got paid in the end. They paid me for around 9, 10 weeks, and unemployment will hopefully start soon. So life is good. I still had some money in the bank, some savings, and so prayerfully I'll be able to start my new job soon and start making money again. But until then, just trusting, leaning on the Lord. The Lord said, just volunteer, help out at the church, and so that's what I've been doing every day, learning. I'm going to take maybe some videos, show you guys life on the farm. It's an urban farm. We have 18 goats. We do herd them on. It's a lot of Gary is just abandoned, and so we're on the side street, and so there's our church and one house on the block, and one house on the block behind us. So we herd the goats. Now this time of the year, we've got some brush and some vacant lots that the church has, and so we shepherd them out of their pen and take them out on the street. It's a lot of fun. I'll maybe do a video of that one day, show you guys. But anyway, so back to my recent vinyl finds. This one is called Limo. This is a compilation on the Warner Brothers label. It just says this is a promotional item. I'm not sure. I didn't read all of these liner notes, but when you look at it, it is a sampler of what I'm guessing is some of their artists' current songs at the time when this came out in the late 70s. So for example, some of these artists, very much familiar with. Others, I've never heard of them. Artists that I'm familiar with: Ry Cooder, Alimony. I do know that song. Bonnie Raitt, Runaway is on here. Sanford and Townsend, Moolah, Moo Mazuma. I don't know that song, but I've heard of them. Leo Sayer, You Make Me Feel Like Dancing. That song does not make me feel like dancing, but I am familiar with it. Al Jarreau, Better Than Anything. That was from his album Look to the Rainbow live in Europe. I do have that album. It's a great album. Eddie Hazel, California Dreamin', from his Game, Dames, and Guitar Things album. Fleetwood Mac Dreams. Well, we all know them. Who else do I know? Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night. The Doobie Brothers, You're Made That Way. Ted Nugent and the Amboy Dukes. Call of the Wild. Gary Wright, Phantom Rider. Emmylou Harris, She. But then there's some other artists. I have no idea who they are. Deaf School. What a Way to End It All. The Gabby Panui Hawaiian Band. Yeah. Hen House 5+2, but 2 is spelled Too. Song called In the Mood from an album In the Mood. Warner Brothers single WBS 8301. Danny O'Keefe, The Runaway Kate and Anna Margarigo walking song. So yeah, there's a lot of liner notes here. I haven't read it all, but for this has a $10 price tag on it, but it was with the $3 stuff. I honestly don't know if he charged me $10 or $3 for it or not, but I couldn't resist. This is a blind buy. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this record. Spirit Live, or it says Live Spirit. I don't know what's the name of the group or what's the name of the album. It looks like probably progressive rock or something like that. But it's on the Potato Records label, which got my attention. But it's manufactured and distributed by First American Records of Seattle, Washington. I don't know if this was maybe something regional or what. I haven't listened to it. This was one that I think I just got yesterday. But I don't know. We'll see. The cover kind of stood out. This front cover kind of stood out to me. And that's what made me try it. Another blind buy. I'm familiar with Robert Palmer. Not this album, called Double Fun. It's on Island Records, which of course a lot of his solo stuff is. I'm not sure when this was released, but the cover is just captivating to me. I don't know what it is. I was looking to see if it was a year on here, 1978. Yeah, so I'm kind of anxious to see what this sounds like, but I have no doubt that it's Robert Palmer, so it's going to be at least a few songs on here that I like. The Rascals, C. This is another blind buy for me on the Atlantic label. I wasn't familiar with any of the Rascal songs on here that I know of, but I do see a version of Temptations About to Get Me on here, and I do like that song. That's what kind of stood out to me when I looked at it. But I'm really anxious to hear this album. It was released in 1969. I have a couple of Rascals album. I have Groovin', Who Doesn't, and a couple of other albums by them. But it's a group that I don't listen to very often, and so I'm kind of anxious to see what's going to be the deal with this. Another one here, the James Gang, Spirits. I'm sorry, not Spirits, but Thirds. On the ABC label. Not sure what year this was. Again, I have a few of their records. I am a Joe Walsh fan, so if Joe Walsh is a part of it, I want in. I'm not familiar with this album, but I'm anxious and eager to listen. I think I just got this one yesterday. Some of this stuff I've had for a while from them. Again, it's been a month. And some of this is stuff that I actually got yesterday, but it's some of the favorites that I'm more looking forward to. Sea Level. I don't have any of their albums. I have a 12-inch single of theirs. I forgot the name of it. I heard it on Slade 5000's channel. Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and so I ordered the 12-inch then. Sea Level is they were, if I'm not mistaken, studio musicians at Capricorn Records, and a lot of their stuff was just instrumental, disco-y type music. So this album is self-titled. This one is from 1977. The song that I have is not on this record or any of the other albums that I got from them, but I am curious to hear it. Here's another one, Long Walk on a Short Pier. This one came out in 79 on the Capricorn label. I do like that label design. Blind Buy for me, I've never heard this album. The only thing I've heard is that one 12-inch I have an A and a B side. They're instrumentals. I like them both. I never bought. My intention was after I bought that one C level 12-inch, probably 5 years ago, maybe more. I was gonna look and get more of their stuff, and I just never did. And well, now I have. So I'm anxious to listen. Here's the third and final C level album that I got from them. It's called Cats on the Coast. This is 77. And I should have tried to pull whatever 12-inch I have by them so I could at least told you the name of the record. But I know it's not on any of these albums that I've shown you here. The irreverent Millie Jackson Live. I bought a few live albums from them. This is a live double album on the Spring label. I've probably bought 7 or 8 live albums. I only have a couple in here. But this is live and uncensored. I really like Millie Jackson. I listen to, if you listen to podcasts, she did the Questlove Supreme podcast last year around November with her daughter Keisha. And this lady is just full of energy and she just does not care. But it was an interesting story. I didn't know, I've got a lot of her records. Excuse me, I didn't know that even into the 70s when she was recording albums, she kept her day job working in New York in the garment factory. I don't remember what she did. It was like an office type job at a garment factory. She kept that job even when she was still making records because she was able to get through her work stuff that she could wear her costumes on stage. And it was just a security blanket. And so this album includes some of her great stuff. Her version of Do You Think I'm Sexy is on here. I'm not going to say it, but the FU Symphony, which I just pulled that album to listen to maybe like 2 weeks ago, and I never did. But she's got a cover of her version of, which is the remake of If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right. It Hurts So Good. That was another one of her great songs. A Moment's Pleasure is another one of her good songs. I still remember when she has an album called For Men Only, and she did her version of This Is It by Kenny Loggins, and I loved that song as a kid. Still love it today. I don't know how, but my mother let me buy that record, and I remember listening to it at home, and that was not a record for kids. But somehow, some way, I don't know. I was born later in life when my dad was, I don't know, like 37, I think, when I was born. My mom was 33. So, I don't know, maybe they were just getting a little old and tired. But I remember listening to that album. And I listened to For Men Only. That was an album that I listened to on New Year's when I was off work. Millie Jackson, so glad. I didn't have any of her live records, so glad to get that one. This is a blind buy. I have no idea who these people are. It's called Sad Cafe. The name of the album is Facades. It's on the A&M label. But it's got Paul Young, it shows, as vocals and percussion. I don't know if it's the Paul Young or someone else. The band also includes Vic Emerson on keyboards, Dave Irving on drums and vocals, John Stimson on bass and vocals, Ian Wilson guitars and vocals, Ashley Mulford on guitars and vocals, and saxophone by Lenny on the song Emptiness. It's dated 1979. Never heard of them before on A&M. It looks kind of rockish by the way that they're looking. So eventually I hope to be able to give that a spin. If you know anything about that record, feel free to post your comments below. It's another live album that I got a couple of weeks ago. Natalie Cole Live. It's a double album. $3 again. All this stuff that I've showed you on this video, all these records for $3. And most of them, the records look great. Worst case scenario, just needs to be cleaned a little bit. But she's doing some of my favorite songs by her. Sophisticated Lady, I'm Catching Hell. When I was a DJ, women loved that song, especially when there weren't a lot of men or they weren't dancing. Women would dance to them, would dance with each other, that song. This will be I've Got Love on My Mind, Inseparable. I Can't Say No. Be Thankful. Our Love is one of my favorite songs of all time. Oh, I can't wait to listen to this one. This was, I'm trying to see when it was released. 1978. 1978. So this would have been just after her Thankful album, which was, I think, was 76 or 77. Oh. Yeah, I can't wait to listen to that one. Another live album. I got this one on my first trip there. Hubert Laws at Carnegie Hall. Another CTI album. This is just a single LP. Flute music. I don't know how to say it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I do listen to Herbie Mann sometimes, but I have to kind of be in the mood for it. Same with Hubert Laws. I've never had this album before. I did listen through it a little bit when I first got it, and I did enjoy it. But what really got me was looking at the, anything CTI. They were in house for backing bands, and they could do CTI label, so its features on the musicians on this album include Ron Carter, Bob James, Gene Bertonucci. I wasn't familiar with him. Dave Freeman, Freddie Watts, Billy Cobham, and Dave Miller. And so I was glad to get it for $3. Anything CTI, I'm always game for. It's always good quality music on CTI. A little bit more jazz here. Wes Montgomery. This is a replacement for me. The copy I had was a little beat up. Bumpin' on the Verve label. This album has seen. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, sorry. This album has seen better days, and it definitely needs to be cleaned, but I'm confident it's in good condition and it should play fairly well. When I first learned about Wes Montgomery in the early 90s, Bumpin' on Sunset was the first song that I heard by him. Herb Kent used to play it on the radio sometimes. I was just captivated the first time I heard it. This is a replacement for me. The cover's in really good shape. My cover, I'm sorry, Living on the Fault Lines. I didn't tell you the Doobie Brothers. And my copy that I have. I didn't have this insert here in mine. I just had a regular white sleeve. And this record is in really good condition. I was surprised it was just $3. This could have gotten more for this one. And this was released in, well, I was going to say 76, but it was 77. 1977. I am a big fan of the Doobies. This is another upgrade for me as well. The classic. They started to get real soulful minute by minute. I still had the original copy that one of my sisters had, and I'll keep it when it came out. But I put a big price sticker on there, on the label itself on the record. It looked horrible. And again, this too, I think these all came out of the same collection. This has the insert. I didn't have the this insert with mine. And the record looks in really good condition. Again, I think it probably came out of the same collection. Upgrade for me, slow hand, Eric Clapton, gatefold, the RSO label. Again, this record has been played, but it looks like, and I haven't had a chance to listen to a lot of these records, but it's definitely going to be something that's, I don't think it's going to be a problem with it. It's hard to find records like this that were so popular in good condition, because I think people were just getting high when they were listening to it. This Rare Earth album, I thought I had almost all of the Rare Earth records, but I got this one and another one that I didn't include with this one. This one is called Willie Remembers, and I had never heard of this one before. I'm not familiar with this at all. It's on there, the Rare Earth label. The other one that I got is I think a German pressing. I didn't include it in this one. I think I left it downstairs. But I was really surprised. I thought I had their stuff, or all of their stuff. I don't, and so I'll be really anxious to listen to this one, hopefully soon. This is an upgraded copy of mine. The Stylistics, Hurry Up This Way Again. It's still in the shrink. And it's got the original, I think the one that I had didn't have the original inner sleeve, which I'll switch it out with the white one and just keep the other ones. And then this label is, the vinyl is really clean. The copy that I have was a copy that I got in the early 90s when I first discovered used record stores. And this album was at one time really hard to find. The song Hurry Up This Way Again, it's a good album. There's other stuff on there, but the song Hurry Up This Way Again, before the internet and buying records amongst your peers online across borders of countries was a thing, this album was hard to find. And I think I paid maybe like $30 for mine, and it wasn't in the best of conditions in the early 90s. Because it didn't get reissued right away on any kind of CD or anything, and so I think I paid kind of a lot of money for mine because the song "Hurry Up This Way Again" I specialized in steppers music, in the genre of steppers music, and in that culture. It was a culture, probably still is. I don't really participate much anymore, but it was a culture, and that was a very popular song that was very hard to find, and so just upgrading that was great. The Viscounts, you see this looks like water damage, but they made the song Harlem Nocturne on the Madison label. I have Harlem Nocturne on a 45, but I've never had this album before, the instrumental song, and so I figured I'd try it. But again, I've never heard anything else on the album. I just have that 45. This one, I'm still trying to figure out. It's a National Lampoon's comedy record from 1972 on the Blue Thumb label with this custom label. I don't know really what this is, and I didn't get a chance to listen to it. Yet there's some names on here. It sounds like it's some sort of story or something. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a gatefold, and I'm kind of curious to listen to see what this is. If you already know, please feel free to comment on it below. Just 3 left. This one, Richard Roundtree, the man from Shaft. Of course, Richard Roundtree played Shaft. This is on the MGM label. This picture shows him behind the microphone as if he sings. I don't know. I got this one probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I haven't listened to it yet on the MGM label. I just got it blind buy. It's got 8 songs on there. No, 10. No, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Gets hard sometimes. Peace in the Morning. I'm Here. Street Brother. Man from Shaft. Tree of Life. Lovin'. Sagittarian Lady. And The Letter. It was produced by Eugene McDaniels, the great Eugene McDaniels. I don't know what this is or about. I wasn't familiar with all of the musicians that were playing on here, but there are some. I see sax by Pepper Adams. I'm sorry. Yeah, Pepper Adams. Hubert Laws is playing flute on here. Joe Farrell is playing bass clarinet. I think there's actually a tuba player on here, Howard Johnson. If I played tuba, I don't think I'd give you my name. No offense to tuba players out there. But he also includes background singers of Deborah Laws. He was Hubert Law's sister. She made the great song Very Special. And a sister, Charlotte. So I have no idea what this is. I'm kind of curious. I might actually put this on the turntable later tonight or tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday. No, Tuesday. I don't know. Time permitting. And this is a blind buy. Steve Winwood, Jim Capaldi, Dave Mason, Chris Wood, Rick Greach, Rebop, Kwaku Ba, and Jim Gordon. I'd only heard of Steve Winwood, Dave Mason on here. I've got their records. I've got Dave Mason solo stuff and Steve Winwood stuff. But this is some kind of a collective on the United Artists label. It looks really interesting. I don't know. This was it was in the 70s when it came out. I looked at it before. I don't remember. But it doesn't say. No, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But when the cover looks so interesting. That's what really, and it was $3. I'm gonna try it. But then when I looked at the personnel, of course, Steve Winwood playing vocals and organ and electric piano and guitar. Rick Greach on bass. Dave Mason, of course, doing some vocals on some other tracks. It looks like lead guitar and acoustic guitar. Jim Gordon on drums. Jim Capaldi, vocals, tambourines, and percussion. Chris Wood on saxophone, flute, electric piano, and organ. And Rebop Kawuku Baha, congas, timbales, and bongos. So it sounds like a real eclectic collection of musicians from different backgrounds. I'm hoping this is going to be like a a soul rock jazz soup that's going to be tasty. I don't know. I've gotten so many records, I can't keep up and listen to them because, again, I'm volunteering for a few hours a day at the farm. I'm still working my part-time weekend job, but I hope to stop working that part-time weekend job soon and be able to dedicate more time to listening to these great records. I'm at 30 minutes already, so let me hurry up. Last one. This was the song that I was looking for, Moving Pictures, because I couldn't find mine. Days of Innocence. And when I asked about this record, when I went in the first time, he thought when I asked for Moving Pictures, he thought I meant the Rush album. But he wasn't familiar with this one. I couldn't find it that first day, but I think I got this one. It was a Saturday that I was supposed to go see my mother, and I was late. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago, not this past Saturday, but a previous week or two before. Anyway, I was so glad to get this. What About Me? That's one of my favorite songs. And $3. I was expecting to pay way more. The copy that I had before that I can't find, I paid probably $15 for. But anyway, so I've gone on long enough. Thank you all again for listening, for watching. Pray that God blesses you. I hope to do some more videos. I've got one more to do tonight. I've found in the last few days some more records at thrift stores. I was planning on doing some other videos. The cost of records have just gone up so sky high since the pandemic, and I had pulled some records that I'd gotten kind of cheap years ago that I was going to share and encourage everyone else to kind of share the cheapest records that you've been able to get. And but I put those records away again. I didn't get a chance to do this, so hopefully I'll be able to pull them again and do that again soon. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry I went on for so long. Have a great day. May God bless you.